everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I'm here with another new to me historical romance author vlog. If you are new to my channel, I've been trying to do this year at least. Is read more historicals, always a goal of mine, and so I want to read more new to me authors. So this is actually the perfect time because we're wrapping up the Ever After-a-thon, so I wanted to get as much historical romance done this weekend as possible. So in this vlog, I am going to be reading Lenora Bell. This is the first time I'm reading this author, and this book I started out with because it actually has the governess. It's a governess trope, and that's my team for that readathon. So let's go ahead and quickly dive in because I just started this last night. It may just be this one book because I don't want a super long vlog again, you guys. I just posted one recently that was like an hour long. So I might just keep it to the one book, but let's go ahead and get started with this Lenora Bell vlog. Okay, guys, so I'm sorry, I'm kind of looking a little haggard, but what else is new in my vlogs? But I am just ate breakfast and I'm about to do some cleaning in the house, so I won't be getting right to this book again till later today. Right now I'm actually listening to Midnight Angel by Lisa Klepes, which is another governess one. So I'm trying to hit as much governess this weekend because this is the last couple days of the Ever After-a-thon. So I want to get as many points as I can. Unfortunately, my team's last place, so I don't think it's going to do much, but I'm going to do my best. So anyways, I had bought in a bunch of Lenora Bell. I found this book when I was researching governess books, and this is What a Difference a Duke Makes. I think it's actually maybe the second book in a series. I can't remember. I am sorry, but this is the Schools for Dukes series. And this one is a governess, so I picked this one up. But when I was looking for this book, I actually found like quite a few Lenora Bells on, I think it was eBay, and so I have quite a few now. So I'm hoping that I'm going to love her writing and that I'll jump into those other books too. Maybe I'll add one to this vlog, but most likely this will be hopefully just one book. All right. So in this book, we have Marie and Edgar Rochester. He's the Duke of Banksford. So in the beginning of this, Marie is like not in a good place. She just arrived. She, I believe she was like an orphan, and she kind of grew up in this home, you know, and then schooling and all of that kind of stuff. And she has trained to be a governess. She shows up late to the interview that she was going to get a posting with this main governess type of schooling business, whatever. And the lady is like super rude and says, oh, well, I already gave that to somebody else and we don't have anything for you. And basically kind of like kicks her out. Right before this, all her luggage got stolen too. And she's new to the city. She like came from the country. So she's in a really bad situation. She overhears the lady that was like ran that school or whatever you call it. I can't even remember. But she overhears another governess basically rush in, and she's like, quit at this was he an earl? No, he's a duke. At Edgar's, like, he has twins and they're unruly and out of control, and they chase off like every governess. And so this is the most recent one, and she's like, I will never go back there. I can't do it. And you shouldn't send anybody out there. So she figures out where this guy is and basically kind of acts like they sent her. And she kind of goes in there and he goes, you know what? I want to interview this governess myself because we've had such failures. I need to interview them. And he's with his sister. And I loved his sister immediately. Her name was India, which I love. And she like does archaeological stuff, and she was just so brashy, and I loved her personality. I loved her character. So I'm hoping that she's going to have a book too. But anyways, he kind of sees her. She's this wisp of a woman. She's young. He's like, no, you won't do. You're too petite. You're too pretty. You're too distracting. And she's kind of shocked by that because she does not think she's good looking. She's this redhead, kind of always considered herself plain. But she really like goes toe to toe with him and has an answer for everything that he said and every like denial he did. And I just loved it. I loved their banter right away. And she was very smart and kind of like not letting him just kick her out because she really has nowhere to go. She has no luggage, no money to her name. And so she manages to talk him into it, especially when like the kids had ran away again, and they usually run away to like Hyde Park. And they returned, but with like a constable, and I guess they had shot like a rock at like a pigeon and then him or something. And they were like trying to catch the snake. And so she immediately kind of ingratiates like herself to them by like not being freaked out by the snake, defending the kids against, this. Oh my God. Sorry, my mom's cat's like hitting my phone. Okay, so like she's kind of trying to earn their trust, defend them, be there for them. And so she really only has a week. He gave her a week to show him that she could do it. And so, and he also, the reason she was like too small didn't work for him is because one of the twins has like night terrors. So, but she's like has experience in that. I believe she's trying to find out who her true parents are, if I'm correct. I'm not positive. I think I'm only like 20% into this book. So I didn't really get that far last night. So I'm hoping I'll be able to buckle down and read a lot today. But I'm really liking their banter. He's very attracted to her. I really like his character. He comes off really grumpy, but he's not like a typical Duke. He like actually, I can't remember if it's steam engines or what type of engines. Sorry guys, I can't remember, but he's actually trying to do more inventions and like build this business, and his mother is so like disgusted by that because that's not how a Duke acts. Like he even worked in them for a while, for like I think 7 years. He kind of like disappeared. There's some kind of event that happened and then he kind of disappeared, and he was working in foundries. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. He was working in foundries for like years, so he's got like even like burns on his hands and working man hands. So she's kind of shocked by this because this is like not what she was expecting for Duke. And he's very good looking and brawny and big. And so far I'm liking it. I'm liking her. She's really like smart with the way she handles the kids and is kind of building this trust with them. And so I'm really enjoying it. Now, these kids, this is another thing. It's not like it was his wife. He had an affair with this poetess or whatever, this chick. I think she was French. And she ended up like, leaving. And he, I think there's a lot that went down about that we'll learn. But she ends up dying, and she had his twins, and he never knew about it. So he was, now he's accepted his illegitimate children, which I love that, and, is trying to provide for them. But these kids feel like they're going to be abandoned. They miss their home. There's like reasons they're acting out. And Marie can see that. So she's really like trying to step in and help. And, it makes him more honorable. You really look, because a lot of these men would never have accepted his, bastard children. And these poor kids have heard people talk about them like they're bastards and all this stuff. So you can kind of understand why these kids are acting out. I think they're like 9 years old, I think. So like he's missed out on like their whole upbringing and stuff. But he is 100% focused on the business and what he's doing. So he's not as involved with them. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm going to get back to cleaning and hopefully get back to this later today. And then I will check in with you once I get like maybe halfway through. All right. See you guys on the next clip. Hey guys. So I am back for a check-in. I finished cleaning the house today and was able to kind of go out in the sun, even though it doesn't look like it, because I'm pale as shit. I'm slowly trying to go out in the sun a little bit. I'm going to start going out every weekend because we have our Hawaii trip in July, and I am so white, like so white, and I don't want to end up getting burnt and, ruining my whole trip. So I got to slowly start exposing myself to the sun because I haven't for a really long time. I did have an issue where I had melanoma, like little bit, where I had to get tested. So I kind of got paranoid and just don't really ever go out in the sun anymore. Anyways, this is a whole side tangent. I was able to go out in the sun for a little bit. I guess I didn't put good sunscreen on one of my legs because only one of my legs got slightly burnt. So there's that. But anyways, I went outside. I was listening to an audiobook and then I started to read this too. So I am about halfway through. I keep forgetting the name. What a Difference a Duke Makes. And I'm really enjoying it. There's not a lot going on right now because we just kind of have them having their banter, their attraction. Marie is like really good with the kids and he's kind of spied on her a couple times, like just checking in, and he sees how his kids are so like into her and listen to her, and so it's kind of like really melting his heart for her. And she's also kind of like trying to bridge the gap between them and build a relationship because, you know, they feel like he doesn't really love them and like they miss their home. And so she's trying to clue him in on everything that's going on with his kids and that they don't really think he wants to be with them because he's constantly at the foundry and all about his like steam train, whatever stuff that he's doing. And so she's slowly trying to like get involved there. And you know, they're just really like kind of pining for each other, but he knows, he's like, I can't go there. And he actually even brings up the power dynamic and how even if she's willing, like she is his governess, so like it's not fair to her to ever make moves. His father also would always hook up with like the maids and all that kind of stuff, and he just does not want to ever be like his father. Sorry. So we do also learn about his history with, the kid's mother. She was like 30 and I think he was like 17 and she seduced him. And it was kind of a way to get at his father. So it was a revenge thing and she kind of strung him along for years. So it like ended really badly and she ended up leaving with and having the kids and him not even knowing about it. And I think she took her own life, if I'm remembering correctly. And so she had sent a letter with and the kids to him. So that was kind of crazy. So there's still some mystery about what went on with him and his father and like why they like, you know, he's estranged and all of that. Now, at the same time that I'm reading this, I literally read 2 other governess romances on audiobook. So I might mix some of these up. Because in my head, I'm like, wait, was it this one or the other one? I think I'm going to be okay. But I might mix some of these up. But anyways, at one point, she's at the park with the kids and she sees the lady that runs that governess, you know, company. And so she kind of goes to hide. When she comes back out, the kids are all dressed up and doing like, gonna do fortune tellings and be snake charmers. And she's like, oh crap. And they've got a group of people around them. Well, I think it's Edgar. I just totally lost his name. Yeah, Edgar is actually on his way to go do this. He's kind of helping his friend's sister get the guy she really wants by making him jealous because he needs this guy to let him use his railway, like run the railroad through his property, and he's not doing it unless he does this. So he's off doing that. He sees his kids at the park and he's just like, what the hell? So he's pretty upset, and he takes her to his foundry to like kind of show her around. And this is where this chick gets really ballsy because they go in this room together. They're alone and she's like, why'd you really bring me here? Come on, just say it. And he's like, at first she was like telling the guy that was giving them a tour and stuff, like how he was trying to impress her. And she's just really funny. She like really calls him out on shit. And I love that. And so when they're in the room, she's like, why are we in a locked room? Why are we alone together? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, because you want to kiss me. And like he's like fighting back on it, and she literally just grabs him and goes for it. And I thought that was really refreshing. It was pretty cool to see the chick go after it. And she knew he wasn't going to do it because of all his rules and how stuffy he can be. And so she just went for it. And they have a pretty hot and heavy makeout session. But, you know, he kind of pushes away from her. Is like he feels really guilty because she's his governess. And like he just doesn't think he could ever be with her. And so he kind of, after that, like avoids her. And I'm trying to remember, where did I leave off? Oh, okay. So she's looking into her parentage. She has this like rabbit toy that was like a special toy that he kind of recognized. And she found out it's made at this special store, and she was like left at an orphanage with this like toy. So she went to that. She got a solicitor who ended up being like a drunk and not helpful to her. So then she goes to show up at this toy store, and lo and behold, Edgar's there getting like toys for the kids. And so it's going to kind of put a damper in her plans to investigate her past. So that's kind of where I'm at. Not a lot going on, but it seems very kind of like character driven story. I love their banter. I'm really enjoying it. It's cute. He like literally bought her like a whole wardrobe, like a nicer wardrobe. And she's like, I can't afford this. So he does these little acts of like care. Like she told him that the kids missed French bread, like that they're home bread. And so he got this really expensive chef to like bake her to come and like make the bread and stuff. But again, she's like, here it is again, where he's just getting them gifts or spending money instead of doing what they really need, and that is spending time with him. But she is noticing how sweet his gestures are and everything like that. So I'm enjoying it. I think the writing is really easy to read. I'm enjoying Lenora Bell so far. So I will probably not check in till I finish this. I mean, there's not a lot of plot going on, so I think it's going to be more character driven, and then finding out who she really is, maybe, or something like that. So anyways, I'm doing a lazy just check in from my bed here. But I will see you guys I'll probably do, I want to finish this by tomorrow, because tomorrow is technically like the last day of the Ever After-a-thon. So I want to get this finished for the readathon. I literally listened to 2 audiobooks today. I really went through those quick. And then I'm starting another one, which is Lorraine Heath, that I'm hoping to finish by tomorrow as well. So I banged out some really good historicals over the weekend. I think I'm getting a lot. But I'm only vlogging this one because the other ones, I don't have time. I'm just doing new to me authors. One of them was a new to me author, I think Kathy Maxwell or something. I don't know. But anyways, you guys, I'm rambling, so I will see you guys once I finish the book to give you my final thoughts. Hey everyone, I am back with my final check-in for What a Difference a Duke Makes. And I really loved this book. It was so refreshing and adorable and cute and romantic. I don't even remember where I left off on my last check-in. I finished this last night, and I just didn't really want to do a check-in when it was like super dark in here. So I'm just going to kind of sum up the last half of this book because it was so fantastic. I love these characters so much, and the longing and mutual longing that was going on between Marie and Edgar. Yes, Edgar. Sorry. Already listening to other books right now, so I need to keep my name straight. Okay, so their longing was amazing. Their connection, their chemistry. We do get to a point with them where they do start to kind of explore their sexual connection. But he doesn't want to like go fully with her, like all the way with her, because he feels such guilt over being like, you know, her being his governess. He doesn't want to be like his father. And you know, so he's kind of like only going part way, then like not wanting to kiss her, because if he knows he kisses her, he's going to take it. He'll get too attached. It'll open up things and make it too dangerous for them. So there's a lot of that going on. And we finally get to learn about his history. But before I go into that, um, there was this trip that basically he had set up for his kids. They really missed, they grew up in France and they were by the seaside and they really missed that. And Marie has like let him know that. So he sets up a trip for them to go stay at the seaside close by, like a few days journey, I think. And that way they can get to experience that again and have fun. They assume he's going with them. He is not. He's trying to kind of set up this trip to kind of put his distance between them because he's getting too close to her and attached, and he's struggling. And plus he's so dedicated to working on his fire engine thing too, to help put out fires. And so he's very focused on that. But this would have, she thought this was his opportunity to show the kids how much he cared and really be there for them. And then he's not going. So she was kind of brokenhearted. The kids were brokenhearted. He ends up kind of struggling with his new fire engine. It was a fail. And his guy is like, you need to go on this trip. Like, you need to get away. And so he does end up showing up there. And it was just so cute. Like this little getaway they had together. Before he got there, it was so adorable. These kids have just fallen so in love with Marie, and she's fallen in love with them. And she they even wrote their name, her and Edgar's names in the sand. And the son, Michel, put a heart around it, and they were like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because you guys belong together. It was just cute. These kids, it's crazy, these governesses couldn't handle these kids. All these kids needed was love and care, and Marie gave that to them, and they're just growing so much. And she hasn't had the same problems with any of those other governesses had. So it's just amazing to see what Marie has done to this family, and it's just beautiful. So when he shows up, the kids are so happy. They spend a great day together. And then, of course, now they're going to be kind of in this place together. And she kind of lets him know, I want you. I want to go all the way. I want to experience this. And so they end up having this amazing night together. It was just very romantic and beautiful. And there was so much more emotions coming into play when they were finally having sex than just them having sex. Like he's already in love with her. She's in love with him. But he feels like he can't go there because she's the governess. But he's starting to realize he can't fight this. And so it's beautiful because there's so many intimate moments between them that he really tells her all about his past. And it's very tragic past. He had obviously the stuff that went on with the mother of his kids. She kind of conned him and strung him along for a few years. It was a revenge plot against his father. Then she left and never told him about his kids. So he didn't find out about them until they were older. And she ended up killing herself and sending the kids off to him. So it's very tragic, that alone by itself. But then you learn about why he doesn't have a relationship with his mother, and it all has to do with his abusive father. So there are trigger warnings for an abusive parent, alcoholic, all that kind of stuff when he talks about this story, because his father was very abusive to his mother, who just, took it. And a woman's place she didn't have a say in anything that happened to her, but she never really stood up. And then it went to Edgar, where he was getting abused, and he would try to take on as much of the abuse as he could so his sister and his mother wouldn't get the abuse. But at one point, he's older, and his mother had been beaten, and he found his father gambling and drinking and having a good time at a club. And so he basically threatens him to a duel. And they do it, and he wanted to kill his father. He says, I wanted to kill him, but I couldn't do it. So, he didn't end up shooting him, but his father shot him in the knee, and, on purpose, and said that was a mercy. And so you just see what a horrible person his father was. And that's kind of why he has, that damaged knee and limp and everything. So, I mean, this is his past, and then his mother had never forgiven him for, basically outing their situation into the ton and like public society. And, you know, she's all about that genteel upbringing. And so she was just very devastated by that being thrown out and everything. So when he tells her all of this, it's just so moving. He's like opening up to her. You can tell he just trusts her and depends on her. And she realizes like she didn't want to ruin the moment, but she's like, I have to tell him the truth because she's lied to him about who she really is. Like, not really who she really is, but the fact that she wasn't one of those high-end like or raised you know, genteel type of governesses. She was an orphan. She literally was supposed to be a governess to like, you know, a tradesman type of guy. So and then she also is going to find out who her parents are. So she's investigating that, and she's finally learning the truth on that. And what I'll say is he ends up finding out because that stupid governess bitch that fired her at the beginning shows up because she found out about this situation, and she brought like a constable and arrested her, and the guy was really uncomfortable with this whole situation. And Edgar finds out and is like, where is my governess? Like, and he is just infuriated. He doesn't care about the lie. He doesn't care about anything. So I loved seeing that, where it wasn't like the typical like third act conflict. He honestly didn't care. He was just like, I wish you would have trusted me to, you know, to tell me. And she's like, well, you didn't even want to hire me. You didn't even want to accept me. So I didn't feel like I could tell you. But after everything he shared with her, you know, he was a little hurt, but he understood. And I just loved that. This hero is so amazing. He's so swoony. He just is so devoted to her. And then when we find out this toy maker guy is actually her father, and her mother was, you know, part of, you know, the ton or whatever, and she has like an inheritance, he's like thinking she's not going to want anything to do with him, even though he had like claimed like, oh, she's going to be my future wife when he went off on that governess bitch. And it was just amazing. So then there's this whole thing where the kids think she's like, he told the kids she's probably going to leave and all this stuff, and they went running away to the toy maker to like tell them like, we need her, because they love her so much. And there was like a fire at the place right next to that toy maker's shop. And so like he ends up getting his fire engine and putting out the flames and all of that. And and there was another beautiful moment before he does all of that and proposes and everything to her, like in the street after the fire. Like he had actually gone to talk to his mother, because Marie is like just this amazing, beautiful woman that's just trying to rebuild his relationships in his life. And she had told him, you need to try and work through things with your mother. You're going to regret it. You need to try and do that. And so he actually did. He apologized for what happened. It was a very beautiful scene. And the mother wasn't like negative about him wanting to marry the governess. She was like, you better go. You're not coming back here until I have a wedding to plan. And so I just loved that. I loved how they made this beautiful family. This was just so sweet and endearing. I loved the banter. I loved the sexual chemistry. I love this hero and heroine. They were just adorable together. So needless to say, I gave this 5 stars. I was so pleasantly surprised because this is my first Lenora Bell that I just loved her writing. It sucked me in. It was just a joy to read this, honestly. Like, I had a smile on my face reading this book. And I just think they are just such an amazing, beautiful couple. And I love the family that they built. And it was just precious. So I definitely recommend this if you haven't tried it. It is the first book in this School for Dukes series. So you could start off right at the beginning of the series. I am so intrigued by his sister, India. So I really want to continue and get to her romance soon. But you know, I'm always in between a million different things. So hopefully I will get to it soon. But thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate you watching my vlogs and sticking with me. This is probably even a pretty decent sized vlog just for one, but maybe that's what I need to start doing, is just doing one book vlog so it's not so crazy. We'll see. Who knows what I'll do. But thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment and like, and I will see you guys on the next one.